Congratulations. A long wait to come back to Pakistan for your test team, but worth the wait.
Yeah, incredible to have finished this test match and being 2-0 up and taking the series. So, huge credit again. It's got to go to the effort that was put in this week, and carrying on in the way in which has been a successful thing for us over the last 6 to 7 months. This was another challenge presented to us with the wicket. Being more in the slower bowler's favour than last week, but. The way in which our batters went out and applied themselves in tricky conditions was fantastic, and we kept the scoreboard ticking over nicely in the way in which we want to, even though there were wickets falling. To put the team constantly back under pressure when they probably feel like that they've got the best conditions to bowl with, I think was one of the great things to come out of this week.
I know you're not a great one for looking back in the history books, but history would tell you how difficult it is to win here. England have only ever won 2 test matches in their entire history, and you've doubled that tally in the best part of a fortnight, a measure of the achievement.
I think coming to the subcontinent is always a tough place to come and win cricket, but I think we know what we've achieved this week. We know that it's something that's not unheard of, but very rare to do, especially as an English team. I think we'll take it all in. We do understand how special of achievement this is this week, but as we keep saying, sort of these series victories and these wins are obviously part of a much bigger picture in what we're trying to achieve at the moment.
If we just take this game specifically, did you always feel you had your noses in front of the game, even though it was away for thin margin at the end?
I would say so. Always batting last on these type of wickets is always going to be a challenge, but it's one thing where we just like to stay in the moment of where we are, and just make sure we're focusing on what we're going to go out and do, and not sort of think, if we do this might happen, if we do this, that might happen. And you look back at our second innings, and we might have played to go on and get 400, but that's not what we're about. We still want to be playing entertaining cricket regardless of the situation. I suppose the only time where it really felt like sort of Pakistan were ahead of us was that little partnership with Nawaz and Sal today. That sort of put us on the back foot a little bit. But one thing we did do this whole week is whenever Pakistan with the bat sort of felt like they were getting into a rhythm, we stuck to our guns, we stuck to our plans, and luckily we got rewarded with that.
If I take you back to that morning session yesterday, there are plenty of people who would say, well, that was a point at which you could just shut Pakistan out of the game if you played slightly differently. Is there any part of you that thinks like that?
No, because we could have got that score playing the way that we play anyway. So, I think the sort of you could have done it this way is obviously always a great thing to say after the fact. So no, but look, we obviously were happy with the way in which we applied ourselves this whole week with the bat, with the ball, and and especially in the field, I think as well. We've got a few lads under the weather again, so to be out here and grafting out in the fields, it's been a great team collective yet again, and the lads really deserve everything they've got this week.
You mentioned the pressure that Saud Shakeel and Mohammad Nawaz put you under this morning, and that was the point then at which you threw it to your Durham mate, Mark Wood, who never lets England down, does he? It can't have been easy for him coming into this game on the back of very little cricket and a lot of T20 cricket, but he threw himself into it again, and that was the difference really either side of lunch.
Yeah, and that's what we picked him for. We picked him to be the game-changing option for us, and the way in which he came in with that, was it 15-20 minutes before the break to get those 2 wickets of the 2 set batsmen was absolutely a massive boost for us, because the 2 guys out in the middle look comfortable, and obviously when you have the express pace like you do of Woody, you need to use that to your advantage. And I think what made it slightly easy for him coming into this week was we were very clear with him in what type of role he was going to play with the ball. We feel that Pakistan are a little bit vulnerable with the higher pace and the shorter ball bowling, so we use that to great effect today. And that little burst there is why you want Mark Wood in your team and why you want high pace. I think it's so valuable to have out in these conditions, especially when you've got the skill of Robbo and Jimmy at the ends.
I don't know where you were fielding when Saud Shakeel got out. I don't know whether he had a good view or not, but any doubts about the ball carrying to Ollie Pope down the leg side?
No, I don't think so personally. The only thing where you start worrying is when it gets looked at for a long period of time, because that's when you start having doubt in your own head. But I've been part of games before where, you know, I've been on the team who's been on the receiving end of those decisions, and you're always like, oh, that's not a carry. But, you know, it's one of those things where you could say the same about, you know, Ruti's where he got caught short leg, but you just got to crack on with the decision, and you know, you don't let those type of things affect you. If you hold on to them for too long, your mind might go elsewhere and you lose focus on what the job is.
2-0 victory and absolute vindication of the strategy, and which seemed to me to be based around two things: rapid scoring to take time out of the game, and then the strength of your seam attack. Your seamers out bowling Pakistan's, which can't happen very often in this country with the quality of their seam attack. How much thought did you give ahead of the series to those two elements of the strategy?
I think a lot of, you know, quite a lot of the selection this week maybe came from last week with how effective I thought our seamers were, and you know, it showed yet again how versatile our bowling lineup is. You know, everyone. You know, bowlers can bowl well in England with favourable conditions, but to come here and, you know, do what our seamers have done over the first two matches is seriously impressive on, you know, slow, docile wickets. But, you know, the skill in which our lads possess with their, you know, relentless line and lengths, and then obviously when the ball starts reversing in the air, you know, it brings them back into their own again, and it's really hard work. And, you know, Jimmy and Robbo just yet again, you know, just relentless in what they do. Seriously skillful bowlers, and you know, it's probably something you wouldn't see seam dominating out here in the subcontinent as well. But I think Pakistan have that game plan where it's sort of get what they can off the seamers and then look to attack the spin, and so that was a big tactical decision coming in today, knowing we had to bowl them out.
You talked about the broader picture. There's three elements to that, I would suggest. One is coming to Pakistan. I mean, you donated your tour fee to the flood appeal here. Obviously, England coming is a big thing for the host nation. Have you enjoyed the trip, first of all, and kind of got a sense of what it means to the people here?
Yeah, I think I knew how much enjoyment the public would get out of seeing England playing Pakistan in a test match in Pakistan. But I don't feel like we've sort of, you know, we're playing away, if that makes sense. I think just the way in which the crowd come and watch cricket, they just want to see good cricket. And even though we've won the first two games, you know, we walk off to, you know, I think people just enjoying what they've watched. And you know, that's what we want to do. You know, we want, wherever we go in the world, we want people to enjoy the cricket that they're playing, and the more we can do that, you know, I'll keep saying that, you know, the more hopefully, you know, Test cricket stops getting spoken about like it's the losing form of cricket, because it's definitely not. You know, days like this and Test matches like this, and last week as well, is what you live for, and you know, you feel very honoured to be a part of stuff like that.
And the other aspect to that then are these young English players under your command who have got their whole futures ahead of them, and all the formats that they might play, people like Will Jacks and Harry Brook, and therefore seeing Test cricket as it is at the moment in these two games, you must hope that kind of keeps drawing them in.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel as though we also understand the opportunities that are out there for people as well. So we're not naive in that as well. All we can do is try to create something where we want people to be a part of the longer format going forward as well. And I think a huge part is the culture and what we have going on in the dressing room, and the style in which we want to go out and play, and just taking the pressure off people, because this game comes with enough pressures without adding any more to it. But you know, I think a lot of people would love to be part of this dressing room at the moment. Obviously, it's great when you're winning, but take that away. You know, we're just here having a good time with a group of mates, and then we're fortunate to go out and represent our country for 4 or 5 days a week in Test matches.
One of those young players, Harry Brook, won the man of the match here. How good is he going to be? Can he be? And you've got a tricky old decision when Johnny's fit again.
I mean, yeah, look, you know, Harry got obviously the summer he had last year, getting all the big ups before he made his debut at the back end of the summer, to come here and put in that kind of performance again, just phenomenal. You know, he's one of those rare players that you look across all formats and you can just see him be successful everywhere. But it's a massive shout, but you know, Virat Kohli is one of those guys.
Yes.
Where his technique is just so simple and works everywhere. But you know, the pressure that he puts back onto the opposition is exactly what we're about, and we're very, very lucky with the way in which we can replace Johnny to have Harry come in, because those two, you know, batting at number 5, both go about in exactly the same way. They bring so much to the team, and you know, you're right, obviously Harry playing the way in which he's done at the moment with Johnny not being in the team, unfortunately, is it's the best thing you want. You want competition for places. You want a strong squad to be able to pick from, and you want those headaches when it comes to the final 11 every week, rather than going, I'm not sure who we're going to pick. Let's pick a name out of the hat. And we're definitely not in that situation, and feel like we've got all bases covered at the moment. So it's good.
Final question: 8 wins from 9 for you now under your captaincy. When Rob Key, when you had that initial chat with him, however many months ago it was, could you imagine how well it was going to go for you?
I didn't really look at it like that, to be honest. When I first got the job, I just wanted to come in and just try and change a few things up and just get things going in a different direction. When someone never focusing too much on results when I came into this job, and obviously the bigger picture and stuff like that. But sheesh, it's been an amazing 9 games to start off with, and I just feel very, very honoured and very privileged to be a part of something like this, and having everyone, not just the players but the backroom staff and everyone who works alongside us, being on the same path. It's really, really good.
Terrific achievement. Well done.
Thanks.